Hey everybody, this is Kristen Fagan here, and I'm here with our friend Cassandra Spicer of Beads to Live By to kick off our first Customer Appreciation Week kit making extravaganza. Just gonna hang out here for just a minute and let a few of you join us and find us, and we'll be on in just a moment.
I feel like I need to give out like a little woohoo.
Right? Where's the confetti?
Yes, like throw it across the room. It's so nice to be here with you, Kristen. I feel like it's been so long since we've gotten to create together.
I know it is. It has been a while. I don't do that many of the beading parties, and so I don't get to see a lot of our friends. And so I'm excited to be here with you today. Let's go ahead and bring us in. Hi, everyone.
Look at all those friendly faces popping on.
Oh my gosh. Hello, hello. Melissa and Kimberly and Terry and Becky and Lori and Dana and Cynthia and Sherry and Susie. Welcome. Hi, Lois. Good to see you all this morning. And like I said in the beginning, I'm here with our friend Cassandra of Beads to Live By. Hi, Cassandra.
Hey, Kristen. Hi, everybody. Oh, aloha from Hawaii. I love seeing where everybody's from. That's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. I wish I could remember where everybody's from because I know a lot of you tell me in the beginning and then I plumb forget. So thank you for reminding me again as you arrive. So how are you doing today, Cassandra?
I'm good. I'm sitting here in gloomy Michigan today. I don't know what's going on with our weather, but it's like, I think it's struggling to reach 70 as a high and it's very overcast. So I was over here like, okay, what can I do to plump up my lighting? I think we'll be okay. But if anybody thinks to themselves, oh, it's a little dark, then that's part of it. Is that normal natural light that I count on is not quite as prevalent today, but
it looks good when you've got it in your hand like that. I think your light on your that you've got in there is really shining when you bring it up close. So
okay, perfect.
That's beautiful. So this is our kit we're going to make today. What was the name of this kit again?
I think I was really lazy about the name. This bead is an origami bead as far as like the pattern goes. So I called it the Origami Pearls Bracelet.
It's adorable. I love it. It's such a pretty kit.
Well, and it uses like, the craft wire and the beading wire from you guys. I've got some little accent beads from Curated. Every time I go to say their name, it's a little hard right now.
Oh, it's so hard. I know. It's so hard. We're going to talk to Tracy this week. I'm sure she's going to be like, what am I going to say to everybody?
I know.
Because it's tough. It's really tough.
It is. And I tried really hard to, obviously it has caught most of us off guard. It's a sensitive, tough thing because of how much we love their products. But I tried hard to remind my audience gently that, anytime a decision like that is made in a business, it is like not something that's made lightly.
Oh, no.
Or without like
it's a really heavy decision.
Yeah. So I am wishing them all well and really hoping that, whatever transpires, that it goes smoothly for the company and all of the individual human beings that make up a company.
Yeah. I'm sure it's been something that has unfortunately been on the radar for quite some time because you can't make a decision like that lightly.
Overnight.
Or
exactly.
Quickly. So I'm sure that they've tried everything that they could, to not have to make that decision. But
exactly.
Sometimes that's just how things go. And it is a good reminder to everyone that, like small business needs you. We need you to come and support us and be there because otherwise, we can't be there. So this week is for sure a celebration of small businesses. And so thank you all for being here and for supporting us at Softflex Company and all of our friends like Beads to Live By that we're meeting with today.
Well, we're so grateful for you guys. And I know your community is really having a tough couple of weeks. So we're here for you guys, Kristen.
Sherry is saying, how about glittering and pearly mandala bracelet? She's renaming your kit for you.
Perfect. I'll take it. I do feel like the other two, I think, examples. Well, I don't know. My other colorway, I guess I should bring that up. This one sold out pretty quick, so I didn't want to taunt people with it too much.
They're all pretty though.
Thank you. I was trying to do some things that were like not necessarily seasonal, but would kind of, work into the fall, easily and seamlessly. So even with this one having the gold and the lavender, it's like a really deep tanzanite color. These are a 2mm fire polish, the little extra sparkly guys.
They're so pretty.
And if you look at them, they're strung with size 11 seed beads. So they're a very tiny little faceted bead, but in case people needed extra reasons to have all sorts of fun shopping, I have examples of every single color that we carry. We have 24 colors on our website.
Amazing. And those are all 2mm?
Yep, these are all the 2mm. So I wanted to make sure and give people an example of like, I've got the different origami beads that we have listed as well, so that people can really see like there's kind of endless possibilities with this project besides the kits that we did.
Right on. Damien, when you get a chance, will you pop on the Beads to Live By website so that we can share that with everybody and they can take a look at all of the different colors that Cassandra has for you said they were fire polish, right? With the check fire polish?
Yeah, the 2mm, yeah. And then I also have a little example, thanks guys, of the kit that we sent out. So this has everything you need except for your tools to be able to make the project. And I was going to go over, I am terrible about labeling my individual items in my kits if it's stuff that I feel like is kind of, not obvious, but, easily self-explanatory.
Identifiable. Yeah. Plus, it's a lot of work to put a kit together. Items, make sure you have everything, and then on top of it, label everything. So I get that. So if you want to go through it on the video and just give everybody a rundown, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking, is that we could just go over. So there's a little piece of wire in there. It's about a foot of 22 gauge. And then there's a little findings like baggie, which has about 20 inches of the fine or 0.014 beading wire in it. And there's also a couple of crimp beads and several of those flower nugget spacers. I did get those nugget spacers listed on our website today, just in case people wanted to try to stock up on those before they disappear from the world. But those I've used over and over again.
You love those. I know.
Love those beads.
I know you've talked about them in the past. So those are definitely one of your favorites. So make sure you get one of Cassandra's favorite clasps while you can, before they're no longer being made.
Yeah. And then the ball and socket clasps are something we get from a different vendor. So those are still readily available as far as I know. I don't know. So for anyone that hasn't followed us for any significant period of time, we've gone through a major change in our operating systems at the store. So it caused me to have to shut my website down and pull almost all of our inventory from it and relist it, on top of changing our entire point of sale in the store.
That is a huge project.
that is one of so many things going on this summer for us. So if I have things that I'm showing you today that you don't see on the website, please let me know if you're interested, and I'll make sure and get you an individual invoice if I can't get it relisted right away. And then everybody in the kits would get a little baggie of mixed seed beads, and these come straight from our curated collections, which after I show you guys how to make the bracelet, if we have extra time, I've got some more show and tell.
Awesome. We love show and tell. So.
And then this is that gorgeous origami bead. This bead is made in one of the factories that I get to visit in person in just a couple of weeks in Jablonec in the Czech Republic. So it's extra special to me. The 2mm fire polish as well are made in a place where I've actually gotten to see the factory itself, the process. I've gotten to meet the family that owns it. So it's a very cool thing to have like such personal ties to now after all these years of working in the industry.
So cool. So how you're leaving in a few weeks, you said?
We leave on October 17th. So it feels like just a few weeks away because of how much prepping that we have to do for our
Yeah.
businesses and our home and our animals. But yeah, we've still got over a month before we leave. Ish, almost a month. Oof.
Yes. Yeah, we'll go with a month, right?
Yeah, that's sneaking right up on me. And then everybody would have gotten 2 strands of the 2mm fire polish in the color of the kit. This is a matte, what I call a pastel finish, because it has kind of like a shimmer to it, even though it's definitely a matte finish bead.
So pretty. I love that color.
And then the pearls are cut on one end because I chopped 16-inch strands down the center. So I'm not going to pull those out. But these are real freshwater pearls that I was able to obtain enough of to do these kits. So you guys can enjoy a little bit of natural beauty in your project.
That is the green kit. Is that one that you have a couple left still?
Yes, there's a few of those, and then there's just 2 maybe of the copper, and I might have called it copper and yellow. This has a lot of like kind of goldenrod, shimmery color to it on that bead. So
Very pretty.
thank you. I'm so
I see
excited.
a couple of questions here.
Oh yeah.
Liz is asking, are you out of Michigan?
We are out of Michigan. We are in Jackson, which is about an hour north of the border, or 30 minutes south of Lansing, where the capital is.
And then Anessa is wondering, she said she would love a 2mm kit. Are you talking about like a curated kit for the 2mm fire polish?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've got, this example here, and I don't know if I still have this option listed on the website right now, but we do. Previously, we had one of every color available at a discount off the total, what it would be per strand. And so I think it was almost $60, but you've got 24 strands of those beads.
Oh, so you put together like a bundle.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what she's referring to or not, but maybe.
Liz says you're very close to her and she's going to spread the word. Please do.
Goodness. That's so cool, Liz. I hope we get to see you in person someday. Well, Kristen, you want me to jump right into the directions? Are you ready?
Yes, please do.
All right. So I think the easiest thing to start with this, I'm going to try to make everything on camera as much as possible. Anybody who's ever done one of these videos before knows it's not always easy. I think it's easiest to start by wrapping your origami bead and attaching it to your clasp. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. The inspiration for part of this project was the idea of those connector beads that everybody always loves. So if you look at pre-made bracelets, a lot of the times there's like a bead that's set in silver and already has like loops attached to it. And I thought, I've got so many beautiful beads that would look good used that way, but, are just beads themselves. But this just adds a little bit of oomph to the bead and gives it a little pizzazz as like an asymmetrical focal point with the bracelet. So the wrap is a herringbone wire technique, probably a little modified on my part because I, am not like a wire guru. So I just kind of do my own thing when I get around to playing around with the craft wire. But you have just enough with that like foot long piece. And this is 22 gauge wire. So if for some reason you have a little mishap and you need a fresh piece, I hope people have enough in their stash to, make it work. I would also say like a 20 gauge would probably work just fine. So if you are, scrambling, there's probably a lot of options there. And then with the little connector, I'm going to leave like maybe not even 2 inches. You really want to not waste too much wire, but we're going to do, this is a gallery wrap technique where you are going to make a bend, and then we've got our round nose pliers here, and we're just going to probably halfway up the nose of your pliers. It really depends a lot on your size of your pliers as well, because they make them in all different sizes from tip to the other side. But my loop is like not probably going to be 1/4 of an inch. I bet it's between 1/4 and an eighth of an inch wide. And before we forget, because I always tend to try to do so, when you have begun that loop and you haven't sealed it off yet, it's the right time to add your clasp so you do not miss that opportunity. Because if you don't do it this time and then you forget on the second loop you can do without attaching a clasp if you've already gotten it on your first end. And then we're going to take that wire, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to make a little bit of a spiral, and you want to make at least 2, and I'll hold it up a little bit closer to the camera. This is going to get covered up, but you want at least 2 full rotations with your wire. So like when you look at it, you'll see 2 loops of wire no matter what way you turn that. And that's so that we can make the rest of the wrap around the bead the way we want to. And then we love a good pair of like flush cutters. So the flat side you want to face towards the work that you're going to leave behind. Now, here is the addition of the origami bead. And we want that loop that we made to sit like so, because we want that clasp to lay flat. So when we finish off everything, we want the bead to lay the same direction as the clasp, so that everything will be flat to your wrist. So when you go to make your second bend, that part we want to line up so that everything is sitting the way it's meant to. And then you want to leave enough space between your bead and where you make the bend so that after we make our loop and we go to make that little like coil, there's that space between, oh, sorry, we're out of focus there. That space between where the loop gets made and where the coil goes. And you guys will see very quickly how that is helpful to the rest of the project. Now I've been kind of manhandling my wire, which is a great time to remind you guys that the part that's being like worked with right now is going to be visible along the sides of your bead. That's going to be that decorative wrap, the herringbone. So we really want to make sure that we're being as gentle as we can be. Oh, if I get distracted and I start like talking nonsense, it's because there's a little chipmunk running around outside of my studio area, and it's so darn cute.
So instead of squirrel, you're thinking chipmunk.
Yeah,
There it goes,
yes.
chipmunk.
It's going back and forth in front of the window, like taunting me. So, all right. So we've got ourselves all set up, and our wire is just gonna very gently, we're going to allow it to just lay naturally along the side of that bead. And we're going from the end that's not beside our clasp towards the clasp that we attached. And then when you get to that side, you're going to hold everything in place gently, make 1 revolution around that wrap, and then you're going to start back from the side towards the clasp to the other end of the bead. And then We repeat that, we do that rotation, and you just really want to be careful because that bead is so beautiful. You want the wire to just barely sit along the top of the surface, if not along the edge of the bead. And then the second rotation, or the second wrap rather, the set of wraps that we're doing right now, it can be more on the outside of the bead. So you definitely don't want that to fall. And then you'll notice as you work this round of your wire, you're going to be kind of closer to those loops of your original wraps, because that is how you will get your wire to sit as neat and tidy. And that's what starts to create that herringbone weave along those spaces. And that's kind of, I believe, where the name comes from originally. So the last,
pretty. I love this.
Thank you.
I think you showed me how to do a herringbone for the first time.
Oh, really? That's so funny. It's funny to me because I'm so not like a wire wrap, like, you know, kind of guru or anything. But the last wraps you make are going to be just to do like an extra rotation or two around that spot that is furthest away from your clasp. And that is so that you can trim your wire on that end. Of course, I've got the shiny, shiny wire and the bright, bright lights, and can't exactly see what I'm doing. Oh, that turned out okay. I get nervous doing some of that stuff on camera because I'm so out of practice in between, you know, like doing little designs with it every once in a while. So
yeah, it looks great.
Thank
you. Did a
you.
good job.
The reason I did this part first is because it is absolutely much easier to do this and then do your stringing so that you can actually have an idea of how to like fit your strung parts to your wrist size versus like trying to guess how much space this whole part's going to take up. And I'm going to move some of my tools out of the way. And I also am going to suggest with your piece of wire, you have plenty for any wrist size because there's, you know, if you double it over, it's 10 inches in length still. And you've got the length added from that. So it should be ample for whatever size bracelet you're trying to make. But I would go ahead and cut that piece in half. I don't do it just because the less moving parts that are in the kit, the easier it is not to like, you know, miss on, you know, something I'm supposed to put into the kits, or for you guys to like drop something as you're pulling things out. But doubling this up and cutting it in half gives you extra oomph for when you're doing your crimps. You actually want those 2 strands and then doubling them back over because you're working with that fine size. So you can start on either end. You can attach first to the clasp or to the bead. I'm just going to go through my bead here. So I've got a crimp bead on here. Those are 2x2 crimp beads. I'm going through my, just trying to see. I will show you guys how to tuck in. I've got my wires kind of hanging out a little bit where I trimmed it, but I'll show you guys how to tuck that in later. And then you're going to take those 2 ends of the wire and go back through the crimp bead. So you'll end up with 4 strands through the crimp bead. And that's really definitely a preferable situation to be in since it is that fine soft flex. I've got my strands a little uneven, so I'm trying to pull that up into place a little bit. And then our good friend Sarah has given me the extra anxiety of always like making sure that my space of my loop between my crimp bead and where I'm attaching it is similar on both ends. So I'm going to try to pay attention to that when we finish it off.
It's like you don't have to have it be exact, but it's a good thing to pay attention to and make sure they're similar, right?
And then I'm using the Magic Crimper, but you could use like any appropriate crimper for the size crimp bead that you're working with. So I just like, if I'm using a 2x2 crimp bead and I've got the right amount or size of wire to work with, then I like the look of having that Magic Crimper in play, but it's not a requirement.
Dragonfly Ozark, we are meeting with Cassandra Spicer from Beads to Live By right now, and she is sharing her origami pearl bracelet kit for our Customer Appreciation Week. And she does have some of these kits still available over at beadstoliveby.com.
So for anyone that saw this, I'm just going to explain. I just trimmed my wire ends a little bit because I do want to leave them. I like having a little bit there, but it's going to get covered up by, I'm putting on one of those flower nugget spacers. So that'll protect you from getting poked by them. And if you notice a little bit extra protruding, then you can go ahead and trim them shorter. But I don't mind having a little bit past the crimp bead, just on the chance that, things wiggle around a little bit after you, complete your bracelet. But you definitely would like for that, the beauty of that big nugget spacer is that the hole is sizable enough to cover up all your wires. So that's part of what's fun about using that. Now I'm going to bring a few other things into the view here. I had to pull a couple of different seed beads for myself because they're similar to what's in the kits, but I didn't remember to grab the exact same beads out of the kits for that part of it. So these are not as beautiful as the colors I included for the kits, but they'll do.
They will suffice. It'll give you yet another example of a color to play with.
Exactly. And then I would suggest, I've got my pearls and my fire polish here. I pulled one of my strands of fire polish apart, but when you're making the strand of fire polish that has mostly fire polish, I leave them on the strand and pull them off in sections of 5 at a time. And you can line them up in your fingers so that you can put the string right through them. And that's really the most convenient thing since they're so small and you don't have enough of them like the seed beads to put them in a pile and scoop them up. So you can start working either strand. I really don't think it matters as far as the initial length because you're going to want to start with a seed bead. That's going to go down by your spacer. And for the pearl strand, I did a seed bead and then I did a pearl and then a fire polish and then a pearl. And I just alternate it with the colors and the textures so that you've got enough interest without it being too busy. And Kristen, I don't know, I'm going to be stringing for a minute and then I can switch back and show the other combination. I don't know if you want to show us what have you been working on your project?
I just picked it up again. Let me bring my camera back in.
Sorry, not to put pressure on you.
Oh, no, that's okay. Let me just bring that in, and then in the meantime, we'll just watch you string for a little while.
All right. I'll try to give people a wusa. Gosh, I love when I have so if there's 5 of one bead and then 1 of another one, it's really meditative to count up to the 5 and then do 1 of the other bead and then count back up to the 5 again. That's actually for the very limited amount of experience I have with meditation. If you're doing guided meditation, that's kind of what they, one of the techniques that they use. And Just one of the many reasons beading is such a fabulous hobby.
It sure is. Yeah, it's definitely meditative. Let me pop over here. I just pulled it back up. And I'm just kind of working on something for fun over here that is nothing to do
with anything.
with anything. I just happen to have this project like sitting on my desk for a while. And yesterday I said, oh, let me start it. And this way, while we're doing videos this week, I might have some time to finish it. So I created these cute little polymer clay beads at a conference back in the spring, and they are through the moon phases. And I just came home with them like this and didn't quite know what to do with them. So I decided to string them up on soft flex wire in white. I'm using the medium 0.019 white quartz color of soft flex. And I added these really fun pyrite cube beads that I got from our friends over at Allegory Gallery. I had them sitting in my stash and I didn't know what I was going to do with them. And I just thought they looked really neat hanging with these. And so they're going to be in a little bit of a V. And I was just about to crimp this one on. So what I did was bring my wire through the bottom of this little moon pendant, crimp it, added 2 of those pyrite beads, added one of these sort of tiger's eye looking beads, and then I'm going to crimp it up at the top here with my magical crimping pliers.
That is so spectacular, Kristen. I love that you made those pendants yourself. I remember the conference you're talking about. That was a super fun looking event.
Yeah, it was called Craftcation, and a lot of the classes are really fun, but they're also kind of quick. So you kind of get to start a project, but you don't always get to finish. And that was kind of fun though, because I got to come home and decide how I would want to use them. And I ended up finding this little piece of driftwood. And then eventually I'll add something to the ends to hang it up somewhere.
It's really fantastic. I love it with that pyrite too.
Isn't that cool? It just so happened I have like a a little dish of randomness in front of me, and I just so happen to have them in that dish, and I was like, oh, I bought them for jewelry, of course, but I'm like, you know what? They're actually really perfect with this idea.
They look fantastic.
So it goes to show you can use soft flex for all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be jewelry. You can also use it on wall hangings like this.
Well, and I also was sitting here thinking, I don't use the white hardly ever, and it's so perfect with all of those pieces. I really am just like inspired by your choices with all of this.
Thank you. I don't use the white a whole lot either. It's kind of fun for like very beachy, fresh designs though. And then with the moons on these and that bright white moon in the clay, I just thought, oh, it'll kind of pull that out a little bit.
Yeah. And with the driftwood, I think it's a really nice choice because it looks a little bit more natural with it too, right?
Right. So that's what I'm doing over here. It's just sort of what's picking up what was hanging out on my table.
Those UFOs, the unfinished objects that float around our lives.
I find that, yeah, if you put one like in proximity of where you're working that you want to finish, then you're more likely to get it done, right?
Oh, like the feng shui of bead projects.
Yeah. If you have too many, you might have a hard time picking and choosing. But if you decide, okay, I'm going to put one unfinished project in my line of vision, then maybe it'll get done.
That's a good point. I would probably be the person that just put them all like in front of me and then would have like, the inability to decide.
To decide. Yeah, I totally have decision fatigue, so I have to limit my choices a lot of the time.
That probably I would be wise to follow your lead there.
Decision fatigue. Oh my gosh. It really gets a hold of me sometimes.
We were talking about earlier though with the idea of oh gosh, I think it was maybe before we were on camera or live, and trying to take time away from work as entrepreneurs or small business owners, and doing something we love and enjoy on top of that. And I think that kind of falls into a similar conversation about the idea that we could just endlessly work on things because we enjoy it.
Yeah, we were talking about before we went live how it's like kind of difficult sometimes to stop working because a lot of our work is also the way we relax and like creative projects, and it's kind of hard to say when and to just go out and have other life stuff that we do.
Yes, the other life stuff. Well, otherwise known as life, right?
Otherwise known as life, yeah. So one of the things I'm probably going to do, and I do sometimes, is you can kind of twist the soft flex at the crimp if you need something to lay a little flatter than it was.
Ooh.
And it's not like a perfect science, but because it's a stainless steel wire in the core, sometimes if you just need to give it a little twist, then you can do that with your fingers and get it to hold. Kim says there's other life stuff. I know. I know. Why? Why does it?
That looks really fantastic, Kristen. I'm so glad you shared that with us today.
Now I just have to I have a little bit of twine, so I'll probably add some twine on the sides and then make a little triangle at the top so that I could hang it.
Right. Okay, that's what I was envisioning, so I'm glad I wasn't off base too far.
Where though? Where will it go? That's the question. Find a little nook and cranny somewhere.
Somewhere where you can gaze at it while you're working though.
Right? That would be so fun. Some of these beads are from our Moroccan kit, all the ones up at the top.
Okay.
Those brownie beads.
Give people like a little clue into the whole like bead stash situation there.
Yep. So I switched back to you to see where you were at.
Perfect. That was such good timing, Kristen. So I've got plenty of the pearl strand, and I'm going to show you guys. I've got to move things out of the way because my camera is so close to my table. But basically, I string it over my wrist, and then I make sure that it's not too long or short, and that my ends actually, will come together. Because I still got, once you get a strand strung, you still end up having to add that additional, it's like a 5 to 7 millimeter bead with the the tier cast flower nugget, and then your crimp beads. So, don't have it be tight, but don't have it be like way long, because you're still adding a little length when you finish it off. But you're not going to finish this off until you string the other strand. So this is awesome because now you know how long to make your other strand.
That's always helpful. Once you got one done, then the other one.
Exactly. And then, like I said, I am going to trim my strand right and use separate crappy scissors for cutting your plastic bead string. Don't ever use your good wire cutters.
Oh, that's a good tip. This way you're not, wearing down your good cutters on.
Exactly. And then I'm leaving that strand intact, hopefully without like throwing it around while I'm working, because the second strand is going to be 5 of those fire polish with seed beads in between, as I do those sets of 5. So I'm going to start again with 1 seed bead. I'm just going to pop one of those onto my wire. And then I find it easier to do this with, I'm going to have to turn the strand around, but if you use your non-dominant hand, so if you're right-handed, use your left hand and pull those 5 beads off the string. So like they're sitting smushed between my fingers right now. And then you string your beading wire through those. Theoretically, you can do that all in one fell swoop. Oh, and see what I'm doing what I said I was going to try not to, which was throw those all over the place. So I'm alternating which seed bead I use each time. So I used a green the first time, so now I'm going to use one of these little kind of glowy pale silver ones. And then once that's on my beading wire, we're going to do another set of those. It just quickens up your project if you don't have to poke through each individual bead.
I do that too. I love when it works.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't always work, but it's exciting when you're like, oh, yes, all 5. Okay, good.
Because they are just so tiny. And since you have like the cheat of them already existing on a string, I think that's the part that makes it really nice, is that you've already got that plastic cord that's holding them in place. So.
Mm-hmm. And you said, was it 5 that you get of that color?
Yep, I happen to be doing 5 at a time. And of course, like if somebody is getting creative, they can do whatever pattern they want to. I wanted to do the maximum amount of them. Like, you know, I wanted it to be a majority of the string is covered by those beads, because I really wanted people to see, like with the 2 strands, even though they're tiny little short strands, you've got plenty to work with. So use those 2 millimeters as much as you want to in the project. And then you've got those seed beads just to give yourself a little bit of like contrasting color and a little bit of, you know, break up those fire polish just enough to show them off, I think.
Sherry is asking, are those the same beads from the Very Berry kit? You know, I don't know, Sherry. We did not get them from Cassandra. But she may have a very similar strand that she carries as well. Kim is obsessed with your cute little bead dishes. I've actually seen quite a few people mention your cute little bead dishes as you've been making.
It makes me feel endless guilt because I got these years ago at an art fair, and I wish I knew the artist so that I could like send people their way. And I don't know the name of the artist because it's been so long.
Mm-hmm. But you can look at your art fairs where you are and find cute little art dishes.
Yes, most ceramists will do fun little smaller pieces because it's a quick, you know, sell at an art fair or craft fair.
I do think that little tiny one with the seed beads is just the cutest. Like,
oh yeah,
tiny one.
I've had them for forever, and I just started using them. I mean, they're adorable. They're like little ring dishes or something, but they're perfect for beads. Kristen, you have the most beautiful, like soft background noises of like birds chirping, and
do you hear that?
Just like faintly. And
really?
It's like so zen for me right now.
I love that. I don't even feel like I hear it because I have headphones in. You must be
okay.
So you might be hearing things that I don't even hear. Cynthia is asking what size seed beads are in the kit.
These are size 11, and they're specifically colors from our curated collection subscriptions, in case people feel like they've seen them before.
Cassandra, if you don't know, puts together a curated collection every month. Is that right?
It is, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And she puts together one with seed beads. And then do you still do the other one that is the 2-hole beads?
We do. And we've got 2 different sets of companion bundles where we coordinate fire polish beads and pressed glass in packs that are 20 to 40% off of the retail prices on the strands when you buy them as the bundle. And then our subscribers who are getting the delivery that month can also add them to their subscription delivery for no additional shipping charge. And that was something that I think I'll have a few minutes left. I am going to share with you guys, if you think it's a good idea, the beads that no one has seen yet that will be going out at the end of this week to our subscribers, because you can still sign up the next 2 days and get the September delivery if you are extra excited about these colors.
Oh, sneak peeks is always a yes, right, everybody? Always.
I felt like it was the right thing to do for Customer Appreciation Week.
Let me see if I can find your website again.
So if people are just going to the homepage of the website, look along the top of the site, there's little tabs that are labeled seed beads and check glass, and there's a tab that says Curated Collections, and that has an area that you can click on that says pre-order subscriptions or something along those lines. And it's very obvious, the description of the product explains that you're signing up for the subscription and the timing of it and everything on the product. But if anybody has trouble finding it, I can send them a direct link to that too.
Everybody loves sneak peeks. Yeah.
I know. I was I feel like if I'm going to do something special today that is not necessarily just a sale or just a whatever, that would be fun for the people who are already subscribing, and for people who don't know about the subscriptions, who might be more apt to sign up if they kind of see what they're going to be getting. Kristen, does it feel so good that you're going to get that project done today, sort of?
I know. I just have to add the twine on the sides and then I'm complete. It's going to feel really good. There's nothing better than finishing a project, right? It's so satisfying.
Well, and I design a really wide range of beading projects. I've got things that can take people days to complete, and then when I do things like this and I can do it in a half an hour, I'm so excited about that idea. I hope it makes other people feel good to sit down and start to finish be able to complete that too.
And then hopefully put it on and wear it right away. I always do that. I always do that on Monday. Whatever I make, if it's done, I'm I put it on.
Perfect. Yes, I love it. All right. I think we're good here, and we can put on our other flower nugget. And you guys have heard that saying about earrings and things. These are sisters, not twins. So if your length is not exactly the same, as long as the shortest strand rather is big enough for your wrist, because you want to make sure that if you've got a shorter strand out of the 2, that it's at least big enough for your wrist size. That's what's important. But if they're not perfectly the same length, that's okay, because you really are going to not notice that, and it is almost an advantage when you've got it wrapped around your wrist. So we've got that flower nugget over both wires. We've got another crimp bead we'll have to look for here. And we're going to put that over the 2 wires. And depending on the size of your crimp bead, I've noticed sometimes they might like try to sink into your nugget hole a little bit there, and then you're gonna go through with both strands of your wire, you're going through the open end of your clasp now. And then back through both your crimp bead and your nugget spacer. This project was also born out of the idea that, like, I love a multi-strand bracelet, but if you center your focal bead, you have to do like 2 strands on both sides, and like center your clasp, and like sizing something like that is much more challenging. So I really think this kind of solves some of those problems in a creative way of not having to like put so much pressure on yourself for like how you go about sizing something.
That's a good point, because then you would, if you're trying to get something in the center, then you have to really be more concerned about all of those different strands and making it all line up properly.
Yeah. And once you start to crimp your work, if it's easier for you, unclasp your bracelet. I like to leave it clasped up to a certain point, but then it's kind of nice to take it out because you can really get in there and work with your crimp bead and get everything all.
That's a really good tip. We always try and encourage people, especially for bracelets, to have them in that circular shape when you start your first crimp, so that there's plenty of space for the beads to wiggle around.
Exactly.
If you were to start out straight and just crimped it real tight, the bracelet wouldn't bend, and you'd end up probably either snapping it or just not able to really comfortably wear it. So
I've definitely been in that position before.
Yeah. Start out curved, but then once you get the crimp going, you can flatten it out just for ease once you know the sizing. Ravioli time, says Zach.
Ravioli time. Yes. Oh my goodness. Well,
it's so pretty. I love this colorway. I think this is probably my favorite. I mean, because I love green, as you all know.
I was like, this has very Kristen Bacon vibes to it for sure.
And that kind of color of green is one of my favorites. And green and blue is so pretty together. And then the pearls really just kind of break it up and elevate it a little bit, give it a little fancier vibe.
I wanted it to be casual enough to wear with, any outfit or style, but also pearls are so like trendy right now. You see them in lots of things. And while we love glass pearls, we also love a real freshwater pearl. So that was kind of part of the inspiration. I also wanted to show them with lots of different colors, because I don't think have to limit yourself to a certain color scheme with those pearls.
It's so pretty to see the pearls with colors, because a lot of times you do see pearls more in just like a very neutral design, and I think that they look fantastic like this. Getting lots of wonderful comments. Pretty, so pretty. It's really beautiful. Lovely. Love the colors, the lime and the navy, more beautifuls and so cute. We do have a question about the crimpers. Avonda, do the crimpers you are using work with any crimp bead? The crimpers she's using are the magical crimping pliers, and they only work with the 2x2 millimeter crimp tube.
Correct.
That's what they were manufactured for. So it's really the only one that we can say is going to make it the way it needs to be secured.
Exactly. Do you guys want to see the September delivery?
Yes, sneak peek time.
Okay. So totally unrelated to this project, other than I did use the size 11C beads from previous deliveries, but this is a really interesting combination to me for fall, because I've got lots of these like cranberries in here in really subtle different shades. There's this beautiful matte root beer brown.
Oh, that's really pretty. I like that root beer.
a frosted, like really light pale pink that kind of brightens things up a little bit and lightens them up. This is like an iris green, and then there's this really like vibrant, I don't know if it's a royal blue, but a really like true blue, and those have like a lustery finish. And I always try to include like a couple of more neutral colors. So this has got like those lovely like kind of milky latte colors to it with the luster finish. And you guys will see pictures of them in the next couple of days out of the baggies in like really good light. But that's the seed bead collection for
pretty
September. Thank you. And the inspiration is partially because of these fabulous 2-hole beads that we've got going on.
Oh, yes. The purples and the coppery browns are really so, and then that bright blue, so pretty.
And there's a tiny bit of green on these lentils. So like that's where some of that iris green comes into play, along with the fact that it really like has so much when you set it next to those orchidy like purple colors. There's a lot of like that kind of sprinkled throughout the blue and the green finishes.
Right, that you couldn't see before, and it kind of brings them
out. And then these cranberry colors really are vibing with those other brighter finishes as well. But
this is so fun. So you guys can see how much thought Cassandra puts into these collections.
Yes, I do really try hard to make sure that it's very usable sets of colors and styles too. So
beautiful. It's got like a fall vibe, but then it's got those pops of pink that really kind of brighten things up. That orchid color brighten things up a little bit, and then the blues kind of bring it into like winter. It's just such a lovely combination. Good job.
We were talking, I think, about working ahead on things too, and the idea that I really feel like, this could start to get into holidays a little bit, and without being like, oh my gosh, Christmas is however many days away. It's more of the idea as makers that we only have so much time to put our gifts and things together. So I worked ahead a little bit this year with some of my color schemes so that people had some good things to choose from if they decided to do that.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And I just want to show that look at the colors in the Curated.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy, Kristen. It's like our brains are connected.
Just add a little bit of yellow in there if you want to add these little pops of yellow. That's the only thing that you have gold though, I think. So
yeah, I do have some pretty this one's probably a little too dark, but this has lots of like the brighter gold on it too.
So cool. So for those of you that didn't see our video earlier today, this is our customer appreciation swag bag, and it's not online for order yet, but it should be up, I think, on Wednesday. So this is my artwork on the background, and then we have the Softflex company creating joy one bead at a time little tagline, and then it's going to get stuffed with some goodies from some of our friends here in the customer appreciation week roundup. I think you sent something. Is that correct, Cassandra?
I did. I sent a little bag of goodies for people to play with. Things that I've used in previous videos with you guys. I wanted it to be applicable so that people could like do something with the products they were getting. So hopefully that's fun. And
cool. So now you can make. Oh, do you have another sneak peek?
This is actually not a sneak peek. I just wanted to remind people that I have a play date with Sarah, I think at the beginning of October, and I sent her one of our spooky bundles. So this is like our fun and festive Halloween set of beads that we put together. And I sent her some seed beads that coordinate. I don't have seed beads in this set, but I used things that we've already got on the website to coordinate with all these fun Halloween strands.
I love the pops. Those are like glow in the dark pink.
My camera won't even focus on the color, I don't think, because it's such a neon color of pink.
so cool. Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Lots of skulls and funky shapes, and you got some perfect pumpkins there.
So go check that out. That's also at beadstoliveby.com, right? So this is the Halloween. What did you call this? What's the name of
It's the
this?
spooky bundle. So it
The
is under
spooky
the
bundle.
curated collections, since it's like a set or a bundle.
Very cool. So you can check out the curated collection that we've been talking about, get on the monthly subscriber list. And then is this one like a one-off, like a little specialty one?
This is like a one-off. I think I've got like maybe a dozen left. I debuted them maybe a week ago, so there's a few left, but I don't want people to miss out. And then like all of a sudden we're talking about our video with Sarah coming up and people are like, oh, where did that come from?
Yeah, go grab your spooky bundle so you have it for next month. Is that going to be before you go on your trip?
Yes. So because we don't get back from Prague until like the 28th of October. So that was part of what caused me to get my act together ahead of time and offer the stuff for the fall a little bit in advance, is because I know that things are just going to continue to like steamroll into us leaving on the 17th for Prague, and then I'll be in trouble if I don't have that kind of stuff all set up. So
Oh, so we'll get to see you one more time before your big trip, and then hopefully we'll see you after your return and hear all about it.
yes, I would love to do that. I'll have lots of new things I'm sure to share.
So fun. And where will you be sharing like some videos while you're there or anything anywhere? Where can they find you to keep
our Facebook page would probably be the place that there would be like either live videos, or sometimes the reception, depending on where we're at, is not perfect. And so I might have to do videos and then upload them later of like the processes of like how the machines manufacture the beads and things. But I'm planning on sharing a lot of the trip because I also have a pre-order bundle people can sign up for that is like less than $50 and would be a bunch of things I'm going to pick out special for those people who sign up for that ahead of the trip. So
that's always fun. So you'll be a little shopper for them for signing up on a pre-order. So go check that out too. Do you have that up on your website right now if anyone wants to?
I believe so. Like I said, if people are looking for things like that and it's not there, it's only accidental because of the great migration of 2023.
All of the moving of everything over. So just reach out to Cassandra if you're looking for something we talked about and you're not finding it, and maybe she can help point you in the right direction. But go ahead and check her out at beadstoliveby.com. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun and super relaxing and meditative. Thank you for a beautiful kickoff with your fantastic kit. She has just a few left. So if you don't have one yet, you can go grab one. And if you did purchase a kit from Cassandra, we'd love to see what you made. Go ahead and yes. And thank you. Thank you so much for supporting us at Softflex Company and supporting all of our friends on this Customer Appreciation Week. Share in the Softflex VIB studio. Check out our Joyful Beading Challenge that's going on in there all week too. I think the prompt today is to design something with Softflex beading wire in purple. Oh my gosh, we were supposed to do a giveaway, Damien.
You can still do it, right?
It's a good thing I just said that. Yeah, so we're going to do it now.
Woo!
We have to next time. Usually we pop this banner up in the beginning, and I plumb forgot. Okay, so if you're here, we're gonna do a little giveaway. Just do the hashtag Softflex wire, all one word, and we are giving away a spool of Softflex purple wire, a 10-foot spool, to one lucky winner here. And that is, I'm so glad I said the Joyful Beading Challenge, and it reminded me. Light bulb, hello.
You know, Kristen, I always say that like after the fact, while we're doing these giveaways during the video, that I should like get on board. So whoever wins your challenge, if you guys are able to share their shipping information with me, I will send them some coordinating purple beads to go with their purple soft flex wire.
Oh, I love that. So you're going to get a twofer on this video now to make. Thanks for making up for my little almost faux pas.
Nope, this is like, it's all better now because of all
now it's all better.
And look at this, nobody's missing out. Everybody is getting in on this stuff.
Yeah, they are. So what's the you have a Facebook group too, right? Where that they can share the project
I do.
that they make?
It's called Beads in Progress. And that is
such a cute
where
name.
Thank you. It came out of, as one of those things that came out of the pandemic. As we got more online, we realized one of the things people loved about our classes and our in-person beading that we did at the store was that everybody got to see each other's colors and projects and share or ask questions of one another. So we thought, this group is dedicated to like things that they're doing that somehow relate back to Beads to Live By, whether they're using our beads or doing a project we designed or a class that was taught through us. But it's a fun way to like kind of in our community share what we're all doing.
Right. Yeah, it's perfect. And it goes right in line with what we were talking about having a project in process and sitting on your desk, right? All right, let's share my screen here and see. We've got so far 46 entries. And I think I see about 85 of you here watching. So I'll give you another moment to go ahead and type hashtag Softflex wire to enter for our giveaway, where you'll get a 10-foot spool of purple Softflex beading wire in our medium diameter, and you'll get some purple beads from our friend Cassandra at Beads to Live By. Whew. This was a beautiful kickoff. Thank you for being here with us
to start I'm so honored to be
wonderful week of goodies.
First, it's no pressure.
I know. We took the pressure off by doing a little video before you today, huh?
Yes, you guys did have your initial kickoff, and then I'm not forgetting the after party, but it kind of keeps slipping my mind because I've got lots of videos this week. I'll be doing one for our store on Wednesday night too.
Yes.
So
it's just, I know the feeling. I'm going to be on camera a lot this week.
Yes, Kim was asking if it's progress, not process, and it is progress that you're looking for.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw our name. You must be here, so let me know in the comments after we call you. So I'm guessing you'll likely still be here since we just started it. Barbara Jingles. I love there's our confetti we were looking for.
There it is.
Let's see. Congrats. Let us know you're still here, Barbara.
Yay.
Woohoo! There she is. Hooray. So what you're going to do, Barbara, is just send us an email at info, I-N-F-O, at softflexcompany.com and give us your shipping address. We'll also send that information over to Cassandra so she can send you a little purple bead something to go along with your wire. Thanks, everybody. Oh, let me just stop that. Thanks you all for being here. We've got another video coming up in just a short 50 minutes. It'll be Sarah with our good friend Joyce Trowbridge from Just Beat It with her kit project. And then we have another video coming up at 3 p.m. Pacific time with Sarah James of Jesse James Beads. And that will round out our first day of Customer Appreciation Week. You can find all the replays on our Facebook page. You can also find all the replays on our YouTube channel, as well as a playlist on our YouTube channel for all of the videos. So you can go back there at any time to check them out. Thank you so much for having fun with us and beading along, and we will see you all very soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.